Hey photographers, this is Brian in post-production. Today I wanted to talk to you about culling. I had some ideas while I was going through this catalog about some of the best practices that I've picked up over the years when it comes to working in Lightroom. So I thought I would share them with you because I think they are pretty streamlined, they work pretty well in Lightroom. And the first thing that I do is when I open up my new catalog, I go into my metadata tab and I just kind of look around and see what's going on. Got a lot of lenses here and a couple of cameras. This one window is unique in that it doesn't always tell you the full story of what's going on with this catalog. So we've got a couple of cameras, however, but if I click this and I change that to serial number, you can see all of a sudden that now I actually have 4 cameras versus 2. And the reason for that is this breaks it out by actual serial number, and this just breaks it out by the name of the camera. So in this case, it looks to me like there are 3 5D Mark IIIs and 1 5D Mark IV. So looking at it this way, it's a little bit more difficult to tell what's going on. So I always check camera serial number so I can get a picture of how many cameras I have on an event. Now, you might ask, why is that important? Well, when you're culling, it's really nice to see the images in a sequence so that you can pick one best versus second best. So a great example of that is if I start at the top and I'm looking at these images specifically, if I was bouncing back between cameras, I might not be able to see quick enough which one of these images is out of focus and which isn't, and which one do I want to pick. So that's good to know. That's good to be in your camera number by serial number, or sorry, I should say camera make by serial number. So then you can be in the correct sequence. So you're looking at all the images from that one camera side by side. And now when I'm in here, when I'm getting ready to do my cull, I like to use one key. Instead of trying to figure out different keys and different numbers, I stick with one key, and it's the number 8 key on the keyboard. The number 8 is the green label, and I figure green means go, so why not make the images that I want to keep green? So if I see something I like, I literally just hit 8 and make a label, and I keep moving through the catalog. And I go fairly quickly at first, just making sure that I'm checking for good composition. If there's focus, I can come back and check on that in the second pass if I need to do it. For the most part, I can tell pretty quickly that focus has been achieved on these images. So I'm just going, I'm moving pretty quick. If I change my mind and decide, no, I don't want that one, all I have to do is hit the same key to undo it. So it's not, again, not multiple keys, it's one key. I either have it on or off, so it's pretty simple. Now, the other thing I can do is if maybe there's an image in here that I see that I want to be like a special edit, maybe black and white, maybe film, something like that, I can use another label. So I can use 7, which is yellow, or I can use 6, which is red. Sometimes for me, I'll do red if it's going to be black and white, and then if I want to do a film edit, I'll pick the 7. That's a nice one, so I might do that one 7 in a film edit. The next thing I want to talk about is then once you've got your images culled, how do you get them out to a folder where they're going to us in post-production? The easiest way to do that is to come over here and right-click on the folder and create a folder inside of your original raw folder. And so if I just make a new folder called Deliver to Post and create, then if I go back to my grid and I select my colors, then I can take these from this camera, if I select all, and then I can just drag them into my folder that I created, and that designates that those images are just going to post. Now the other way I can do that is if I select all my images and I do an export, so Command or Alt if you're on PC, Shift and E, and then I can select a folder to put them into. I can choose where they're going. Let's say folder to edit. I'm not going to rename them, although actually, no, I take that back. I am going to rename them because, hey, why not? Best thing you could do is use the groom's last name In this case, that's what it is, except I misspelled it. There we go. And then a sequence number, which is nice and simple now. I always start sequence numbers with a 0 in front of the 1. There's a few software programs out there, and there's a few online gallery companies that will mis-sequence your image if you don't have that 0, and I can show you real quick how to add that. So if you go to custom settings and you go to edit, when you're down here in the sequence and date box, you can select sequence, and then you can pick whether or not you want it to have single number 2, number 3, and so on. So for the company we use, which is InView, they like a 0 in front of the 1. They like double numbers. So that's why I've got that set up here. And then it will pop up in your example. So if you've got something previous, you want to delete it first. So if I click the sequence with a 1, you'll see it'll throw it up here. So then now it actually has 2 sequences. So make sure you delete the one that you don't want before you move on and click done. And in this case, if I'm exporting just to change the file name, I want to keep it as original. I'm going to hit cancel because I don't actually want to export it. I just wanted to show you what that's like. But then that puts those images in a separate folder with a new name, and that differentiates your original RAWs from what you want to send to post. If you have specific images that you know you want cropped, you can do that before you send your images to us, and then you can save the metadata so we receive it. So for instance, in this image, let's just apply a quick crop and a straighten to the horizon, and if I hit enter, you'll see it adjusted for it. Now you'll also notice that there's an icon that gets added to the film strip. This icon shows that there is a crop. I'll do one more. It's the R key on the keyboard. Quick and simple. Again, not for perfection, just for display purposes. I want to show you what I'm talking about here. And then these two images, if I select both of them, and then if I type Command S or Alt S on my keyboard, I save out the metadata for those files. And that's what Lightroom reads to show us any type of alteration to the image, whether it be an edit or a crop or a lens correction or any of that stuff. It all comes out in the metadata, and I can show you real quick what that looks like. So here it is. There's the XMP file associated with this RAW. So as long as this file here, as long as this stays in the folder when you send your files to us, we'll see it, we'll know it's there, and that'll get applied right when we import. So pretty slick. It's a great way for you to show us your edits or communicate with us in any kind of style choices that you need, or crops that you know you want to see, that maybe takes the guesswork out of sending some of your work to offsite post-production. And as always, if you have questions about this stuff, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We love to be a resource for you. Anything we can do to make your jobs easier and faster, we want to definitely do that. So email me anytime, and I will catch up with you at some point. And until the next time, have a great time out there taking pictures.